Yeah. So besides like getting through a lot of the different things inside the game, so this is one of the problems. Like if you played for a very long time, like I played daily, right? Um, this patch was had a lot of issues because they were trying to give weapons different feels and a different feel and a different way they play from each other, which was kind of weird because they already could do that. What they wind up doing more is creating more balance issues than anything else. You basically went from 0.13 where 5 or 6 weapons were really out of balance. Like maybe they needed some help so they could be a bit better and play a bit better, to 0.14 where 5 or 6 weapons are super super strong and everything else needs help. And that happens because of what they chose to do with one class of weapons. Rocket launchers were given a range of 14, which is really long, plus their detonation radius, which makes it even longer. So if something has a range of 14 and its detonation radius is 2.6, it's really 16.6. If its detonation radius is 3.4, it's really 17.4. The reason why it works that way is the explosions from the detonation radius can actually hit you through structures. So if you're behind a wall and it explodes, the detonation can actually hit you through the wall. So the wall is really not there. Then what happens usually in the old patch, even if something had a really long range, there was something else with long range too. So the rocket launchers used to have ranges shorter than the sniper rifles, which really didn't make more sense. Which really didn't make much sense. But now they outrange the sniper rifles. So the only other counter that you used to have was you had mortars. That's how you used to fight sniper rifles. You could hide behind a structure and you could shoot from a long distance. So you could be out of the sniper's range and hit them. So what they did was they took all the mortars, primaries, they buffed them by moving their range to 11, and the heavies, they nerfed every single one of them by bringing their range down to 11. Some of them had a range of 14 or 15. Some of them had a range of 16. So what you effectively did was you created a class of weapons that could hit everything, but nothing else could hit it unless you're using the same class of weapon. What's the point of that? That literally limits balance. That literally limits counters. And then they had 2 shotguns in the game. One they give you for free and one that you have to either buy or earn it through the random number generator. The second of the shotguns, which was the Caretaker, really strong gun in 0.13. They made it even stronger in 0.14. They removed one of its ammo, which you thought that was going to be bad. It looked like it got nerfed by the amount of things that they changed in it, but the few things they changed in it made it so strong that it's like overpowered now. It's one of the strongest weapons in the game. It does the most damage per second out of every weapon in the game. It has a 4-clip ammo. It can do over 4,000 damage at level 20 in under 2 seconds. It doesn't even make sense. The other shotgun, which has 8-clip ammo, can't fire its full ammo under 6.4 seconds. There is no fight in Catalyst Black that lets you stay up close to somebody for 6.4 seconds to unleash all of your bullets at them to kill them. There's no such fight. So to have a primary weapon with a super short range that can barely empty its clip under 2 or 3 seconds is insane. It makes no sense. So that one change, like the Boarson looked like it got buffed, and then they changed the delay between the shots and made it so high that to fire 8 bullets, it takes 3 times as long as to fire 4 bullets in a Caretaker. And the Caretaker shoots, every shot it fires 7 shots. The Boarson, every shot it fires 5 shots. So in that same 2-second period, I only do around 2,000 damage. And for me to try to get all the other shots out, it's almost impossible. Like, that gun is designed to kill you. It used to be one of the best guns to use in the beginner stuff because it gave you health and it gave you speed, and with other protection items you could actually have a pretty tanky build. But the output of damage is so low right now, it's useless. Like, all you have is your heavy weapon. And then the problem is that the heavy shotgun called the triplane has been broken for like 4 to 5 patches. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't even make any sense. It's too powerful and it's never been touched. The other shotgun is called the Mandrill. They keep nerfing it, but it's still strong even though it's nerfed. It just takes a lot more skill to use than a triplane. Then there's the Heretic, which is another gun. They try to reduce its damage, but that's not the issue. It just shoots too fast and does too much damage too quickly. That's its problem. And then to give it a range of 14 and a detonation radius, and it has infusions that makes its radius even greater, is insane. Like, it's just illogical. Before the infusion, the gun is ridiculous. After the infusion, mine is only 2-star, and a 2-star infusion makes the gun feel like it's so broken I don't even play it. That's how bad it feels to play against people, because people play it against me. I have builds that can stop it. It's just super annoying to play against. It's literally point and shoot and things die. You hit them with one thing and then you hit them with a Heretic, they die. That's just dumb. And that's because of the ridiculous range. I actually got killed by it one time where it landed in an area. It didn't hit me directly, but I was in its detonation radius, and that person probably had it infused, and I just died anyway. That's not fun. That's stupid. That's super annoying. So that's one of the biggest problems with the patch. The balancing is horrible. Because the rocket launcher's ranges are so long, you can't really fight them. Then they took 3 of the sniper rifles, the 3 strongest sniper rifles, or 2 of the strong ones, and 1 support sniper rifle, and they added a slow to them. Every time you fire them, it makes you slow down. That literally is like, if you fire them back to back, there's a ability called a grounding bolt that slows you down by 60%. Firing the 2 weapons back to back, a heavy and a prodigal together, the Negate Siren and the prodigal together, actually works just like if you shot a grounding bolt into yourself. You literally stop moving. It doesn't make any sense. Snipers have no health and no mobility. They have basically a small little health bar. Their only claim to fame is lots of damage at long range. Anything closes in on them close, they're dead. How would decreasing their mobility be a fair nerf? You know what would be a fair nerf? Get rid of some of their ammo. You know what would be a fair nerf? Reduce some of their damage. Like, super easy. Slowing them? No. That's not logical at all. Mobility is one of the very few things that you have. You can't take that away too. That's ridiculous. It doesn't even make sense. I have no health. My bar is tiny. I don't have that much protection. And the only other thing I have is being able to move. You're going to say like, nah, you can't do that either. What kind of logic is that? Like, you'll play in modes where you need to go get something and you have to run into an area to get it. And then you start firing your gun and you die because you can't move or leave. If you're not using sprint to counteract the slow, catalytic sprint to counteract the slow, or the quick strike pendant to counteract the slow, you're dead. When you get trapped in an area where there's 3 people around you and you need to move, you can't get out of the way. That's just dumb. I already have almost no health. 2 or 3 of their shots will kill me anyway. If they get up close to me, I do 1/3 of the damage that my gun can produce. Why would I not want to be able to move too? Then they have weapons called the Miser and the Facade. They're Flak Cannons. They basically are short-range guns that shoot big explosions. Now, they added a slow to those weapons for no reason. So every other gun in the game that you want to get a slow for, you have to get a level 1 infusion. 3 of the gun and 4 or 3 other items have to be also, 3 other guns have to be sacrificed also. That's how you get infusion for the negates, the slow for negate siren. That's how you get a slow for Illumia Prodigal. Why are these 2 guns getting it just because their class is Flak Cannon? Doesn't make any sense. And it's the same concept. You create one class that has superior range to everything, and no other class can actually reach it. What's the logic in it? So what happens is the game breaks down to you play Caretaker, rocket launchers, heavy shotguns. Then if you want to get fancy, you can play rocket launcher with a mortar, but you have to build into a specific banner to make it work. Like, that's just the problem. Nothing else works as well as double rocket launchers. Like, if I use an MK4 in a trial, or a trial and a heretic, I'm a king. I can just run around killing everything. If I use Caretaker, Triplane, Protection, and something that helps me get ammo like Raylan's Grace or Evasion Loop or Clemency Vow, I'm also super strong. I can beat things 9 out of 10 times. I got all of my ranked titles using that build. It's just ridiculous. Like, to win 90 to 95% of your matches, if you don't win, you automatically will have the highest score 95% of the time. That's a problem. That's a really broken build. That's where we're at. I'm at builds that are 90% effective. To me, when I have my 8 to 9 builds that I used to play, they were between 60 to 80% effective in 1-to-1s, 1v1s and stuff like that. That means there was a lot of things that could take me out, and there are times where what you have to do to play is run away from players that have builds that are really strong counters to yours. You try to avoid them. You see them, you like, okay, let's go do something else. Here, that's rare. That's like 1 out of every 10 people I meet is a build that way. It's not super good. Fine, there's also being good. The idea is you also learn, the more you play, if you're not learning what combos work well together and what mods work well and what builds work well, or you're not listening to other people like, yo, this is the build I'm using and yo, it works really well. Or you ask a guy, yo, what build did you just kill me with? And they tell you, and you try it and it works. And then they tell you like what mods they're using to make the build work. Right. The only thing I'm really got good at besides that knowledge is positioning and moving. I can do dodging and running around without getting hit really well, because I used to play modes before where they used to give you XP for winning the match. I used to run around with flags and capture the flag for 5 to 10 minutes, dodging really good players, because I couldn't kill them, but I used to run away from them the whole time. So it's a skill that I still have because I built it up. Learning the ranges of your weapons that you're playing against, learning what strength your weapon has and how to counteract their strength. Or there are times where the logic is that guy's just too good to keep trying to fight. Run the hell away from him. That's literally the technique I use. There are some people I don't fight because I'm just like, I don't feel like dying over and over again. It happens. Nah, it's not even mostly balanced for Eventide. The way they have the game built, it's balanced for parties. The game is literally balanced for parties. They internally have parties. So they're able to build, they're able to test things synergetically. They're able to say, okay, I'm going to build something that's going to complement what you have. And we can play together so my build doesn't look super, super stupidly weak compared to what you're playing. We have none of that. So when we pick a build like Primal Hunter is a really strong, is still really strong in this build. It's just against rockets and everything else, you're going to get rocked. It's not easy to beat something with Primal Hunter. But if they're in Primal, you're God King. Like, they ain't surviving. I can knock anything out of Primal if I'm playing my Primal Hunter build. Like, I can just, if you're a Primal, that was a bad choice. If I'm Primal and you're Primal, you knock me out of Primal, put me human, and I'm playing Primal Hunter, you should have left me Primal. You probably would have killed me then. Because I will destroy you in human form if you're a Primal. That's literally how it works. It's still good. It's just that rockets are just so much better. I can't even reach them to stop them if I'm playing Primal Hunter. Because Primal Hunter requires mortar, or mortar, rocket. If you don't play the rocket version of that build, you can't fight him. That's what kind of messed up the whole game. Rockets are required. One form of rocket or another is required for you to be able to reach other rockets. So you literally lost build variety. That's why this patch is just like whack. It's not fun to play. Like I said, what I usually do is I sit down trying to level things up. I don't really feel like doing that in this patch. Like, this build that I'm playing is most effective in Slayer and the rotating Q. Problem with the Slayer and the rotating Q is the XP is anemic. You don't get a lot of XP. The only place you get really good XP is Eventide. But this build sucks for Eventide. I can win, but it's gonna be really, really, really hard to. I'm gonna be trying hard the whole game. Yeah, I'm saying the woes of 0.13. They are definitely, one good thing about them is whenever you play a patch that's like broken like this, the next patch usually is way more balanced. Like 0.7 was another patch that was not fun to play because you literally had to play 1 to 2 builds. Play the Objection, play the Heretic, play the Avalanche, play the Arrival, play the Lumia Arrival, and then everything else, or the Art Mandrill. Everything else, it didn't matter what your primary was, because your primary sucked that bad. Hey man, what's up? But what they did here is really frustrating, because like I said, I have builds, I have like 8 or 9 builds, I can't play most of them. I can play 3 or 4 of them, and those 3 or 4, they were strong last patch. They're like this broken strong this patch. They're like super strong. God tier. Like those are the builds, like I told you, they're 90% win rates. That's just insane. Like if I don't win, I'm going to have the highest score per minute. The only time I don't have highest score per minute, if I'm playing against Hexecutor. He stops that. Because he plays in a way where he maximizes all the points. So I'm always going to be silver. It's rare that I get gold playing with him. I'm either silver or gold, but if I play with him, we'll win. Even if he's on the other team, he'll out-gold me, but I might be able to still beat him. And then I still get good stuff. Or if I lose, I'm still silver, so I really don't care. Like, the problem with this patch, too, is they added rank mode into Eventide, and you do better by losing than you do by winning. What the hell is that? Paragon Arena's, the biggest problem it has is it's too few players inside that gigantic arena. When you play arena in Eventide, there's 5 dudes in there. It's a tiny little space. It's like 1/3 to 1/4 the size of a Paragon Arena map. And there's 5 people in there. Action all the time. And when it brings down to 1 or 2 people, it's still not a huge map. So you can always find each other really fast. There is no searching for a good 20 seconds without ever fighting. The problem with Paragon Arenas is there's just 3 guys on a huge map that's shrinking. So what happens, it gets boring. It's just dull. If you had like 5 to 7 players on that map, actually 7 players would probably be the minimum. If you have 7 to 10 players on that map, that mode would play like a dream. It's just not enough people fighting. It's too little. It's just not enough. You can't get pentakills in that mode. You can't do much in that mode besides that stuff. Like one of the other options somebody said is if you could switch your builds during between matches. If they could find a nice streamlined way to do it, like you press the thing and it slides down, like you could see what was coming up, that'd be great. The big problem is you also have the issue where you can't access your or see what your trinket is in the game once you go into the live game. 2 ways to fix it is either in the scoreboard, start VGing us and showing us the full build across. So, or the hidden item, or at least, because there is no way to see your trinket. Sometimes I don't know what trinket I have. It's the prop. Do you know why it lost all of its? It's not that it doesn't have staying power. The biggest problem that happened was the kiosk mode in iOS basically destroyed it, right? The kiosk mode in iOS had a bug in it where people were abusing it to basically get as many free dupes as they could by restarting the kiosk mode over and over again and getting the first 6 or 7, playing the tutorial and playing all these other little modes that would give you these weapons, right? And when they go back to the main game, they'd actually have fodder that way. So there are people with like 16, 17 Boarsons because they kept restarting and replaying the kiosk mode. Because of that, then they needed to put another patch to prevent that from happening. Then what it did was it split the player base, which is already tiny, into 3. By splitting the player base into 3, half of the people couldn't play with each other half the time. There's a lot of people I know who are on Geo Beta that I play with a lot. Every time I saw them in the game, I try to go there. Your player is on a different version. So we literally had that for 3 weeks. Within that 3 weeks time, I just got mastered in Paragon Arenas. I just bot matched my way through it. And the amount of XP they're giving you is so minuscule, it didn't make sense to play against real people to lose or get 2 or 3, where it's already, I'm only getting like 9 if I finish the whole arena. So I would just play over and over and over again, getting ascension points and getting 9 as fast as possible just to finish it off. That's what I was doing. And then when I was done with that, I moved over to Eventide to finish off the Grand Marshal in Eventide. I played it one day for 6 hours straight with one build. Got the Grand Marshal. And that's it. Like, the problem with it is the reason there's no staying power for it. I have this banner. So let me show you what mine looks like. This is how much I played Paragon Arenas after I got it. I still earned 241 points at 9. Remember, you're getting 7 or 9 at best. If you die, you screw up and you mess up your kill streak, you get like 7 and 9. So just by 9s, I got up to 241. Look at me in Eventide. You get Grand Marshal at 2,000. My Eventide is over 3,191. Besides the fact that it gives me a lot of conquest points and a lot of XP when I play it, is there a point to play it? Now imagine what this did instead was it cycled through. It allowed me to get Master Plus, Master Plus Plus, Master 3 Plus, Master 4 Plus, Master 5 Plus, Master 6 Plus, Master all the way up to 9. Then there would be a point to play Paragon Arenas. There would be other stuff to achieve. There isn't. Yeah, like, to be honest with you, is the problem too is the way you earn points in the mode sucks. You literally have a scoreboard with gold, silver, and bronze stuff going all across it. How is that not part of your calculation? Why is every gold not worth something? Why is every bronze not worth something? Why is every silver not worth something? Then, when you're playing the game modes, why are objectives not worth anything? Why is winning an arena not worth anything? Or winning arenas and winning modes not worth anything? You don't give me incentives really to win the modes. Like, I could literally win no modes in that game and still have the highest score per minute. I do it all the time. It's not even freaking hard. I can win 0 modes and still dominate in highest score per minute. And then I'm still going to get, if there's people in the game, I'm going to get 17, 18, 20 extension points. But why is that? Why is a guy... I played a game with K9. My dude won every what do you call it? Event except one. He got a bronze. Yeah. He got a bronze. He won the game. And he lost honor points. And I gained a bunch of them. That makes no sense. I don't know if they fixed that, but that still is illogical. To win every event but one and still not get like a boatload of honor points makes no sense. You're not rewarding people for playing the game. You're only rewarding them for scoring real fast. And you can basically mess up the scoring real fast by just getting a bunch of crystals and running those in. That's it. You kill a few objectives and run crystals, highest score per minute. You don't even have to kill people. You can just skip that part. So how is that measuring skill? Taking out objectives is skillful. Winning or running the modes is skillful. Taking out paragons should be worth something. Like, helping capture those damn crystals in the Falling Star one should be worth something. Helping save the Wild Surge thing should be worth something. Like, to me, points should be locked in to what you're doing in the game and that scoreboard. That's how you generate them. It's not about how long you played. It's not about what do you call it? How much score per minute you have. Because if you're doing exactly what I'm talking about, helping win events, you're gonna have a very high score. If you're basically taking out objectives, you're gonna have a very high score. So it's literally the same thing. So why not reward people, have 15 slots where you're rewarding people with points? If you are within any of the 15 in the bronze, gold, or silver, you're not going to get negative honor points. Because that means you have something high there. Even if you play for a minute. But you came in, you have the highest score, or you play for 5 minutes, but you have the highest score bronze. That should be worth something. Nah, it's not for kills. I say give points for Paragon kills and assists. Because you see, Paragons already give you a lot of points already. A Paragon gives you 50 points. So each Paragon should be worth 1. Every assist on a Paragon should be worth either a quarter or half. I don't remember which way. I actually did the calculation. I actually wrote it out in something. So if I'm getting 50, then I get 20. That's, yeah, it's about 0.2. So it would be 0.2 or 0.25. Because Paragons are worth so much anyway. One Paragon is worth 1 honor point. So every Paragon I kill gives me an honor point. Every Paragon I assist in killing gives me 0.25 honor points. So that means if I kill 4 Paragons, I get 1. Assist with 4, I get 1 also. If I kill them outright, I just get the point. This way, even if I'm not a Paragon in the game, as I kill the Paragons, I'm getting honor points. The idea is when you are chosen as a Paragon and then you win the Paragon events, you then also get an honor point or 2 honor points. If you lost it, but you were chosen as a Paragon, you get 1 honor point. This way, I'm still rewarding you for making it in, but I also reward you a lot more for winning. And this way, honor points are being generated by playing. This would force people to stop hanging around on the bottom collecting crystals, and I'm going to give you points for killing that. Collecting X number of crystals should be worth 1 honor point. It could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 15. It doesn't matter. It could be 7 if you wanted. But if I'm a crystal runner, and I got 300 crystals at the end of that game, I could get myself 30 honor points just running crystals. Then that makes Eventide literally a skill-based game, and no matter what skill you're really good at, you could still get a good amount of honor points. If it was worth 10 for every crystal you ran, and somehow you ran 300 crystals, that's 30 honor points. Kills wouldn't matter. Paragons would matter. Events would matter. Running shards would matter. Killing objectives would matter. If I kill an Overseer, 2 honor points. If I kill a Core Behemoth, 2 honor points. If I assist, 1 honor point. It's like not hard. You're already giving me like 200 points for it. You're giving me 100. How about making those just honor points? Or 120. How about taking those honor points? To me, because what do I do every game I play? I do a 9,000 point swing for my team. If I come in and I have a build that's super effective at taking out objectives, Imperial, Overseer. Take those out within 5 minutes. People who play against me keep killing me to prevent me from doing that. That's what they do. That's literally my gameplay style. That's why to me PvE would be fun as hell, because when I play Eventide, I know the patterns of the PvE monsters so well. That's what I go for. It gives me a lot of points and it helps the team. I don't know. Like, to me, why wouldn't that be how you mark the game down? Because that arbitrary highest score per minute thing is so weird. It's so damn arbitrary. You literally can come in the last 5 minutes of the game or in the last 10 minutes of the game and beat everybody else. I've done it multiple times where I come in and get the highest score per minute. And I did that on level 5, level 1 build items. I had 3 level 5s and 4 level 1 items. And I was playing on my PC and I had no way to manually aim at all. And I was using Hailstorm, Commotion, Belt of Phasing, Catalytic Heal, and a level 1 Torden. And I was playing with somebody with like level 104 or level 114, another one with 50, whatever. And I was playing on my computer, and I still got the highest score and the highest score per minute. I don't know. But the issue is the score per minute doesn't make sense. If I came into the game and I took out an Imperial Guardian, and an Overseer, and then we get into Final Harvest, and my game winded up being 10 minutes, I should have gotten a good amount of honor points because I took out main objectives that actually helped us win the game. I didn't get to play any arenas. I didn't get to do anything, but I got a solid amount of honor points, and I'm probably going to get gold or silver in 1 or 2 other slots. So generate my honor points from those activities that I did because those are skill-based. Everything I just described is a skill-based thing. If I'm nowhere near the Overseer and it dies, or I died and some dude came up and cleaned up and I didn't get the assist, hey, life sucks. but it's still helping the team. I still think it should be locked in that way. I think that's the way you should fix it, because this score per minute stuff is just nonsense. And score per minute too is, I found out, it's not just enough to have highest score per minute. You also have to play for a really long time. Like if you can purposely stretch your game out to like 20 minutes and have gold and lose, you have a better rank score than if I did the exact same thing and won. Also, if there's no real players in the game, I ain't getting squat. So if I was playing the game and everybody leaves right before the game ends, 0 honor points. That's why I'm glad I'm already Grand Marshal, so I don't really care. Like, that's why I can play any build I want now. It's just, while you're playing other builds, it's just super not fun. That's the